Hello, everybody, and welcome to a Heroes of Wellspring City at 12 FPS. Today's game is called Asking for a Friend. So, my name is Zen. Usually, I am DM. For today's FPS, I will be playing a couple characters, mostly Roadkill, also probably a bit of Perspicuity in there. And joining me today is my friend.
Yep, it's me, Verl, and I'm still playing Shaun. And of course, the title has nothing to do with any personal issues. They are absolutely only friend problems.
Mm-hmm. It's all purely hypothetical. Asking for someone else, Shaun's got no problems whatsoever, but oh boy, this friend of his.
Yeah, but we just got to get some shopping done and stock up the base. So, very normal day. Absolutely won't have any problems.
Yeah. So this takes place a couple days before Mountains Out of Ant Hills. It's after school. It's been a pretty quiet day. So Shaun is heading to the 812 convenience store to pick up a few things.
Yeah, so mostly some tarps, some more water and food that can be stored for a while because if we're going to use that as like a base, ideally, we can have something to eat if we have to hide there, because, fighting giant mutants is sometimes really tiring,
Mm-hmm.
and definitely no other reasons to have food over there. But it's
Yeah.
definitely taking his time looking through the shelves, making sure we get enough of everything but not too much stuff that we can't carry it out, since he hasn't really had any luck seeing anyone else that's not busy, because, Nicole is pretty busy with a certain little someone.
Yeah. I mean, everyone's got homework and their own projects that they're working on, so clearing
Exactly.
clearing time when it's not a big mutant emergency can be a little tricky.
And
These
he's just bringing some stuff over. It's not like you need everyone to go.
mhm, these scheduling issues are crazy.
I know, right? Insane.
mm, so yeah, I mean, the 812 has a good stock of, camping supply, food and water, tarps and weatherproofing materials. I mean, it's got a good supply of almost everything, but like Perspicuity's the outdoorsy type. There's like a big section of camping supplies, so like Shaun has a good selection for all kinds of shelf stable food and like storable water.
Perfect. Things like that.
Mm.
Maybe even if we got camping gear, there might even be things to make water drinkable.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Just some to keep in the back pocket in case for some reason we ran out of all the bottled water and had to use water over there, just in case. You
Mhm.
know, little things.
Always better to have some backups. I'm sure Cat and Cat's grandparent would agree.
Exactly. See, everyone would think it's a great idea. Even if you never use them, they're pretty. They stay good for a while, right? So
Mhm. Yeah.
it's like, yeah, just coming up to the register versus like persecuting, like looking like I'm going on like a camping trip or something.
Yeah, I think Perspicuity is like, hello, young Shaun. Are you going on a camping expedition of some kind?
Exactly. Just sort of storing stuff in case we need to do some camping.
And he nods. The weather is, uh, not well suited to camping at the moment, so stocking up in advance seems the better choice. Uh, and he's like ringing up all of this stuff.
Hmm. Gonna use all my little savings.
Oh,
But hey, at least I get an allowance, right?
yeah.
Not everyone gets one.
hmm I feel like between ends of the spectrum in this party, uh, I, you know what? I will say this: I have not fucking considered everyone's allowance in the party before now. Now I'm thinking about it, and I'm just like, well, I know Brittany gets a lot of money anyway. Uh,
Brittany was the rich one, but Shaun gets a decent allowance, and someone's trying to be like, "Hey, look, you can. It's not bad being here. Have some allowance money to spend on things.
Let me buy your affection.
Something like that. Yeah, it's like doesn't use it much, but it could be useful for this."
mhm. Mhm. I think like as he's ringing you up, Perspicuity is like, do you have a destination in mind, or would you like me to recommend some good camping spots in the nearby area?
Uh, yeah, I've got a pretty decent idea where we're gonna put this stuff. Since I kind of doubt there's any good camping spots, over the river. That's not exactly a place most people want to camp.
Ah, indeed it is not. Uh, I would consider that most treacherous terrain for a camping trip. Not for the faint of heart.
Yeah, definitely not for most people, but it means no one's gonna follow you over there, right? So,
Ah, yes, there are certain circumstances in which the other side of the river is a more favorable locale.
Sean's kind of thinking about it and kind of thinking about things for a little while, kind of like unsure if wanting to say anything exactly, and then it's kind of like
Could
it's like
could Perspicuity roll insight?
totally. It's like he's definitely thinking about something.
17.
Yeah, you probably can tell he's like got something bugging him a little bit.
Yeah, hope so.
He's
uh,
pretty obvious.
mm-hmm. So Persecutity's like, I sense something is troubling you. Would you like to talk about it, young Shaun?
Sort of like it's kind of mutant stuff, so it's kind of weird.
Uh,
So,
I deal with very many weird things every day living in Wellspring City. I will do my best to listen if you wish to share.
well, okay. So I was kind of thinking back to a while when we were having like a little training session, and like the scarecrow came to life on us, and we kind of just brushed it off as just something that happened. But longer as it's been going, I kind of realized it kind of happened after I sort of bled on it, and I'm a little worried about the whole making other people into mutants aspect problem. I'm like, don't want to test it, but it's like, if that turns out to be a thing, it's like, what would you do about that? You couldn't stay here.
Ah, I do see why you would be concerned about that. It is, from the information you have at the moment, it does sound quite troubling. I do believe leaving the city entirely is quite a strong reaction, but that is a strong piece of information to be reacting to in the first place. Is this
'Cause,
something that has happened more than once?
not yet, but it's like, I'm not super worried about it, but if, something happened again, or if someone noticed something, because it's like, kind of just like, oh yeah, things don't usually just come to life. That's kind of a problem. Like, maybe it's unrelated, but that's like so far the only time. But the last thing you want is to not have a plan if it isn't unrelated, you know?
Hmm. You make a fair point. preparing for the future is rarely the wrong choice. However, given that it has happened only once and not become a pattern, I am not certain I would be as worried as you are.
Hmm. Yeah, because it's not exactly something I'd want to try and test out in case it is related. So,
Hmm.
since testing it would be really stupid.
That you do make a good point there. It's hang on, now I've got to come up with words wiser than my brain. Um I got to like figure out how to word this. Hmm.
Or perspicuity being having to be the only adult Shaun's telling a problem to.
He's gotta handle this well, cause if he fucks this up, Shaun's just never gonna tell anyone again, huh? But
It's also perspicuity. He's just kind of like the only person I could talk about mutant stuff that's also an adult. So,
hmm yeah, I think like he does think it over for a second. He's like, it is quite difficult to make plans for the future without knowing all of the details that it holds. But truly, this situation is one that everyone deals with at some point. Not the potentially mutating things, but not knowing your own capabilities or what you might do in the future. All of us are working towards a future that we do not have a full understanding of.
hmm, guess that's true. Hmm. Well, we'll keep the place stocked up just in case, and hopefully it's for nothing. It's just good to have more stuff stocked up over there in case someone gets hurt and they're stuck as like a mutant. And they can't all just bleed in your store. That would be rude. So,
Yes, I appreciate the consideration. It is better to be prepared as much as you can be, but, well, there will always be things that take us by surprise.
no one likes surprises.
And yet, you are certain to encounter many of them.
Indeed. Well, thanks. You don't really need to tell the others about any of that because, they'll notice or they won't. It's probably not a big deal.
Yeah,
Like you said, it's probably nothing.
just because something is unlikely doesn't mean that it's nothing. And if you're having such concerns, I feel like no one will understand them better than your friends. But if you wish to keep this secret, I won't speak of it to anyone else.
Thanks, I'd rather just tell them if I do, you know.
He nods.
John would nod back a little bit before kind of scurrying out with his stuff because, it's like, I was a bit more open than I expected to be with this man because he totally gave me the look. The look of, I know you are thinking. It's like, oh
Mm,
no.
That's just how perspicuity is.
He's too powerful. It's like, oh, I was gonna be like, oh yeah, just possibly maybe if someone noticed something, but he was just like, oh man, I just said me. And it's like, oh no. He's too insightful. He knows too well.
hmm dual occupation, convenience store owner, and therapist.
Yeah, odd combination, but
He
before
makes it
heading
work.
over. hmm But before heading over to Endsville, because it's dangerous, he's gonna just pull out his phone and find Roadkill's information just to sort of let him know that he's gonna bring some stuff over to the base and he wouldn't be opposed to another person being there since it's dangerous, but he understands if Roadkill's too busy to be around, he gets that too. So,
Hmm. I'm just picturing Sean sounds like this whole carefully worded paragraph about like if you're free and in the area and I'm doing this and that and then like after several
a
minutes
little
gets
K.
back and response. Yeah, just K.
He's like, hey, that's good. That's, all of more than a response that he expected, because, listen, he's only got one hand to text with. Long
Mhm.
ones are not really probably for roadkill anyway. So, K is good. That he's like, he might be there, he might not be,
Mhm.
because, just being very careful before heading over. Don't want to be spotted going over there with a whole bunch of camping stuff.
I mean,
So,
you could probably stash most of it in your hammer space.
yeah, most of it goes to hammer space, but,
Some of the bigger
don't want to be
stuff might
caught
not.
going over there,
Yeah.
since why is a kid going over to the dangerous place that no one should be going?
Do you want to roll stealth?
He's real bad at it, so not particularly, but we're gonna try it anyway because it'll be funny. Let me see, where is my dice? Because I think I have a -1 to stealth, but let me just double check it's
Oh
not
boy.
bless.
I'm like, I don't think anything bad's gonna happen if you fail. It's just if you make a big
Some
point about
somebody
like
might notice a child is going over there.
a child is crossing the bridge in Wellspring City.
Why is a child doing that? Strange child.
Hmm.
Yes, yeah, I'm good at deception, not so much the stealthing. Where even is stealth on this? There it is. Yeah, it is -1. I thought so. I'm very stealthy. Yeah, I'm totally
16.
stealthy.
Not bad.
He's
Yeah.
very careful.
Mhm. Careful enough that yeah, you don't draw any attention and make it across the bridge and into Endsville without incident.
Which is great. So, probably should
Mhm.
check and see if Roadkill's around, but you might not be able to see Roadkill if Roadkill's around sometimes, so.
You could try rolling perception.
Da, 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 da. Though I do remember most of my perception checks, even though I have a +4, have gone horribly. So, maybe I wouldn't be able to see Roadkill even if he was standing there, but I think I
Holy
might
cow.
notice him.
Yeah, you certainly might. 19. Let me roll something. You rolled a 19 on perception, but Roadkill got a 20 on stealth.
I cannot find him. He's too stealthy.
Mm. Oh my, we both rolled a 15. It's just a matter of the modifier. Wow.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I feel like as Shaun like heads towards the base, like you do notice that like there's not uh a lot of mutants this way, which is good because you don't have
Mhm.
to fight them alone with your hands full.
Yes, exactly.
So you have a clear path all the way to the uh skate park. That took me too long to remember the word. Um,
It's an odd place for a base, to be fair. It's a
mhm,
funny little skate park.
yeah. Uh, still door chained up. I think window broken open. Um, so yeah, how's Shaun gonna approach getting in?
Yeah, I remember, like, the window we were able to get through pretty well, right?
Yeah, window's broken open, so you can crawl through that pretty
Yeah.
easily.
Yeah, we're just gonna go through that way, being careful since no mutants so far, which is great. Make sure none of it like fall like crawled in there while we were gone, since we tried to make it a little more secure, but we still needed a way in, right? So
Mhm.
you can't completely close it. So
Yeah, it's probably like on someone's to-do list to get a different lock for the door so that you have keys or a code for it and can
yeah,
unlock it without needing a rogue, but do
yeah,
you want to
use our
roll
own.
acrobatics?
Ah, yes, acrobatics. Ah, da 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 da. It's not too bad. Yeah, this is it's like let's not get cut by glass because we.
Exactly. Ooh. I mean, it's a good way to bring up the topic at hand if he does get cut.
It does.
So I think with an 11, it's above a 10. So, like, Shaun doesn't quite get cut, but, like, some of your clothing gets snagged on the broken glass.
Just like, hmm. This is like spent a while just checking. It's like, I'm not cut. No, I'm good.
And I think while you're busy with that is about when Roadkill sort of hops down from a nearby roof onto the street outside the skate park.
It's like, oh,
Uh,
it's like, oh, hello. It's an entrance.
and he's like,
Thanks.
"Hey, do you need help there?" Like
Uh,
looking at Shaun with his like hoodie caught on a shard of glass in the window frame.
it's like, yeah, that'd be nice. I could probably get off, but an extra pair of hands is helpful. Well, hand.
Yeah, can't really help you out with a pair, but then he like pulls Shaun's hoodie off of the glass.
Spent a little time making sure it's like, yeah, okay, didn't get cut because thank you, Roadkill, making sure we didn't get too stuck or the glass gets stuck in in my hoodie. So
Yeah, that wouldn't be good.
not good.
Then you could be cut
No,
later. Ooh.
exactly. That'd be a problem.
Mm, Chekhov's shard of glass.
Exactly. But thanks for coming by. Since I know you've probably got better stuff to do, but I don't want to be completely alone over here since I'm not nuts like Tailwind.
Oh yeah, my schedule is just so busy. I'm booked solid, but uh
Some time for
oh my
fools coming over
god.
here.
He tries to hop through the window, but that's a nat 1. He like tries to hop through the window and look cool, but
Mhm.
100% like his pants get caught on the same
Oh
shard of broken glass and he face plants on the ground.
no. Oh no. It's like, well, I can help him out now and pay him back for helping me get my clothes unstuck. So
uh. Yeah. He
it's like,
like
yeah, see, that glass, it's out to get us.
we should really clear that out.
Yeah, get a
Uh
better entrance, but also we don't want other mutants deciding to move on in here since, you know, because it seems like a decent place to hide out, so I wouldn't blame another mutant for wanting to hang out here, so.
you kind of overestimate how many mutants there are actively looking for new places to go. Uh, and I think he like reaches out with his claw and sort of just like swipes it along the bottom of the window and breaks out the rest of the like glass shards so that it's flat along the bottom.
hmm so no one's gonna get cut there anymore,
Mm-hmm.
or at least less likely.
Yeah, easier to
You
get
have to do
through,
something dumb to
less
cut yourself
dangerous.
there now.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's probably a good idea.
Mhm.
But so like so if there's not a lot of mutants looking for different places to go, do you just kind of like settle down, or is there just not that many mutants? Or
Bit of both. I feel like at this point, pretty much every mutant still around has got their home base more or less settled.
mm,
Although, with that ill will guy making more, who knows how long that'll be true. So, maybe you do want some kind of deterrent.
yeah, since that guy wasn't causing problems before, but now there's all these new mutants that they're actually showing up over there, so I was a little worried it might be causing more trouble on this side too, since who knows where they end up if he's just throwing them over there. So,
Yeah, it hasn't been a big problem over here yet, but definitely more mutants than we've seen in a while.
mhm. uh, any of them also like still?
Sapient? Not as
Yeah,
far as I can tell.
mm, that's a problem.
Yeah,
This is just more trouble for you guys.
I feel like it would be a bigger problem if he was making more people mutants, so I'm not gonna complain.
I guess that's true. Since then you'd need more places to live, and people would be fighting over that, and not good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sean's sort of unpacking things from the hammer space to put things in safe places and using the tarp to protect them for later, just so, we have like a little storage area
Mhm.
away from the windows, so it shouldn't get too wet, but rain will still happen. But while he's sort of doing that, kind of looking at the food and seeing roadkill, it's like, what do you, well, what, like over here, like what do you guys do to get food and that sort of thing, since you can't just cheat like we are?
I mean, if if we're talking about cheating, like at this point Lena brings some stuff over for well, Lena brings some stuff over. Uh Aside from that, varies by person. Like there's a reason I live so close to the river.
Mhm.
I've got enough lobster and whatever else that I can swim and catch fish easy enough. Other
That's,
people have other ways of dealing with it.
mhm. Well, cheating for me, since like I can just go to a store, that's definitely cheating in comparison. So,
I don't think it's cheating. It's just how things are in Wellspring City, huh?
hmm because it's not really fair. You couldn't really go and just buy something, even though you should be able to do that. So,
Just 'cause it's not fair doesn't make it cheating, though.
I guess, I guess that's fair. Mm. But I guess it's like, I guess you don't have to worry too much about like the fish being weird, since like you can't mutate a second time, right?
Uh, who knows? Haven't yet. Don't jinx it for me.
I will not say it again so that the jinx does not find us.
You know,
Just to be safe. Let's see what else we got here. We got the food, we got the tarps, we put them away. But yeah, I was kind of interested kind of just how everything's managed on this side since, if we're going over here, we should, at least be a bit respectful and not mess things up or make a problem for someone by bungling in somewhere that we don't understand.
What, you're not just going to run in headfirst with suggesting hydroponics and not stopping to think about why no one else has done that yet?
No, that seems kind
Incredible.
of dumb.
Yeah. How did you wind up hanging with those idiots? You seem to actually have at least half a brain.
It was kind of like sort of, I don't know, random chance. Like I kind of got asked to come along, and after all that happened, it's like, well, I can't let them get themselves killed because even if I don't know them great, it's a problem. And I'm partially responsible since I didn't keep them away from the area when I should have. So, you
Hmm.
know,
Yeah, he's like nodding along. He can relate to this.
be protecting Lena from bad ideas all the time.
Lena Quartz, he's been in this position a few times.
you know, someone's got to look after him. It's like everyone would like it to go well, but it'd be really bad if I, didn't do anything. So,
Well, thank goodness they have you.
Nicola can be sensible, but also Nicola
Hmm.
can also forget things or get distracted.
Yeah. They seem a bit caught up with their own stuff.
Don't blame them. There's a lot going on, so. But yeah, I figure it's a good idea to know that sort of thing, especially if, like, things get crazier and we have to hide out. The worst thing would be to make things worse over here for you guys because we don't know what we're doing. So, is there, like, any, like, just general rules we should be aware of? Like, places that belong to other people, like, you fish in the rivers, sort of thing. But is there places that other places have been staked out or that should be avoided or left alone?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a map or anything, and I wouldn't give you one if I did, but
Yeah,
there
no.
are people that have set up their own little areas. Just general rule, I guess, like if it looks like someone's maintaining it, probably someone is, and you should just get out of there and leave it alone. But
That makes sense.
yeah, over here it's mostly just don't fuck with anyone and they won't fuck with you back. That's probably like
It's a fair
the
enough rule.
biggest concern for you. I mean, not you personally. Your friends seem like the type that need that kind of reminder, but
Yeah. Yeah, don't mess around. It's like, and don't help without being asked. Because I know some of them are a little like, oh, this will help, and it's like, that's probably like that for a reason. Leave it alone.
yeah.
Good to know, though. Good to know. Since I don't know, I'm trying to think of ways to fix this little place up a bit. Make it safe, since we don't know what's gonna happen over there, right? So, especially with that ill will guy.
Mm, right.
I don't really know. Like, they mentioned, like, that weird shadowy thing we saw.
In like the subway, right? That
Yeah.
thing?
Yeah, that thing.
Yeah.
Like, have you guys seen it before?
He stops to think for a second. I. Hmm. I feel like I might have seen something similar at least a couple times, but if it was the same guy, he sure wasn't sticking around talking up a big storm about how much he hates mutants at the moment.
Hmm. Yeah, they just seem to make it really clear that, mutants over on the other side would get in a lot of trouble, which, yeah, I could see that happening, but also it's like, huh. I was like, then why are you over there, right? So,
Hmm. Yeah,
it's a thing to.
whatever sort of deal or system he's got worked out, I wouldn't count on it working in your favor.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of worried about whatever deal's going on since I really doubt we'd get it. So, that's why I'm trying to bring more stuff over here since I don't think I'd be great at fishing.
Yeah,
Since,
I don't think slime and water mix well, do they?
no, I'm not really eager to find out either, so I haven't really tested it. But I'm assuming it wouldn't go well.
Hmm.
So you got that. I'm like, huh. It's like, what other ways could we use? Because I doubt stuff grows pretty well over here. And it would also take a while, so it's not something I could just start doing if we had to all of a sudden and we ran out of food.
Yeah.
It's like,
I mean, stuff can grow over here, but to get something edible and actually keep it safe until the point where you get to be the one to eat it takes a lot of work. You would basically need someone watching it 24/7 to scare
yeah.
off anything else interested in it.
Yeah, so, just
Not,
have to have someone move in, basically. But,
yeah.
I guess it's a possibility if something if we, like, had to move over here because it wasn't safe. So, we don't know. We don't know why we can sort of look like our normal selves and why others can't. So who knows? Maybe that'll just turn off one day.
Hmm. I'm not sure about that. I think at this point you're past the point of like radical changes to your mutation. So,
You're the expert, so I'll believe you on that one. So you know a lot more than we do, especially about this sort of thing.
yeah, he gives like a little grin that's like sort of half proud and half pained. Like,
Hmm.
ooh, not what I want to be an expert in, but I sure
But
am, huh?
at least that knowledge is being acknowledged.
Mhm.
Since but yeah, Sean's kind of just looking around, it's like places that could be decent to store the stuff. Put it
Yeah.
all away.
You want to roll perception or investigation?
Yeah, it's a good idea. Da, da, da. I'm just checking my investigation versus my perception, and I think I'm better at perceiving, so it's
Ooh, still not that great.
not
No.
that great. It's like where I put the stuff seems okay.
I'll have roadkill. Oh my gosh. So like Shaun, it's as you look around, it's pretty, dark in here. It's like the
hmm
afternoon, but all you have for light is like sunlight coming in through little holes in the roof and like through the dusty, grime-covered windows.
hmm
So like
Our little broken hole.
you're looking around at the like skate park section being like, okay, well, I don't want to put it at the bottom of one of the bowls because we know water collects there, and I don't want to put it near a window. And then, like, as you're like looking around, Roadkill starts walking deeper into the building and is like, if you're looking for a place to stash that stuff, probably middle of the skate park's not the place you want it.
Yeah, probably not.
Mm-hmm.
Is there like maybe an old closet or something over there, like a storage room?
They got all the offices back here. That's probably a little bit more tucked away. And
Yeah,
yeah,
so
sure enough, uh, if you follow Roadkill, there is like a little like counter where people would, I don't know, like
check in,
yeah,
rent stuff.
check in, rent stuff. Uh, and then behind that, there's like some offices for like the people that owned the building, some storage for like this stuff that was rented out. Uh, and tucked back in the employee only area is a set of stairs.
Oh, interesting. And it's like, should we check that out?
Yeah, probably. Uh,
Since it would be pretty safe from the rain and the wet if there's not like already a crack and water's already leaking in. So,
mhm. Yeah. Roadkill starts climbing up the stairs. Uh, and you want to make sure nothing's living up here, probably.
exactly. So, definitely want to fall after him and keep an eye out.
Mhm. Yeah. Like for most of the skate park, the building is open up to the roof, which is 2 stories high. But like
hmm
over the offices, it's at a normal 1 story, so the stairs lead up to like a balcony loft area that's like a story off the ground. Uh, there's a railing. There's like some couches. This was probably an employee break area at one point. Uh, all very dusty. Um, and like one of the couches is definitely like growing something, like
hmm
some sort of brightly colored mold. Uh, but it looks like the roof is intact over here.
Good. Could make a decent place to sleep slash move in if we had to. Even, if we might have to deal with the couch first. Though who knows, maybe it's weird edible glowy stuff.
Yeah, I wouldn't suggest
I
eating
probably
that.
wouldn't eating it. It doesn't really look like it's good, but that's the problem. It's like mushrooms, only you can't even check what the mushrooms do. So, since they're not normal mushrooms that you could find in a book.
Right.
But yeah, it seems like it's a decent area. Mm.
Mhm.
Are any of the couches less destroyed and
Yeah,
full
I
of fun mold?
yeah, I think there's like one couch that's like mostly intact. There might be like some claw marks in one of the arms where stuffing is spilling out, but it's mostly just dusty.
Good. Yeah, Shaun will just probably try and move that one to an area they know is like not dripping, not wet, like looks drier than the others, and far away from the moldy one.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe cover it with the tarp just to store the stuff under it. Keep it all dry.
Do you want help with that, or?
Sure. Like I'm pretty strong, but you're also strong, so it'll make it easier to move around.
Mm, yeah, and he'll come over and like try to help move the couch.
Which the two of us, it's probably pretty easy to move.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got probably the two strongest people in
Yeah,
this
on our
little
team,
group.
like the little noodle arm guys aren't here right now.
Cat with his like -3 strength.
Yeah.
Ugh. Mm. I feel like as you're moving the couch, like Roadkill keeps looking between like the couch and where you're moving it to, and like Shaun.
Hmm. What? You're giving me a look. What?
You're taking this way more seriously than any of your fucking idiot friends. You're taking this more seriously than Lena. What's up with
Mm,
that?
like, I don't know. I don't know. They shouldn't really ignore the reality that, we might have to come over here and stay here if something happens or that shadow monster comes after everyone.
Can he roll insight?
Yeah, he should probably roll insight because, you know, he's definitely not mentioning something.
With his glorious +1 insight, he got an 8.
He did get an 8. So, I'm just gonna roll the deception and see if he comes even closer, any close to getting past it.
Ooh, 16. Yeah. No. Roadkill is just taking you at face value, and I think it's like
Hmm.
still that should be your last recourse if you have any say in the matter.
Yeah, it's definitely
It's
like a last resort thing, since obviously it's not a great thing to have to live over here. But if something happens, like, did they tell you about like that weird machine that made everyone's powers go out of control?
several times.
So you
Yes.
know all about that. It's like if the wrong people saw that, it's like they wouldn't be able to stay in the city even though they can look normal. That sort of thing. But like, you know how they're like our powers don't seem to be changing any, but you saw how Nicola kind of like freaked out about their own powers, right? And
Yeah.
was stronger than expected and no one really liked that. And they're working on it, and that's fine. But there's like if they found out more powers, it's like what would they do about it since there's some powers they're like they don't want to mind control people and that's not a big deal, but it's like if there was an issue that spread, then they might have to move even if they didn't want to.
Can I roll insight again on this new statement?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh my
Roadkill
god, it
just
got
cannot see
lower.
past this.
Roadkill is just
Shaun is
blinded
just
by yeah, Shun's the rational one. There's no reason he'd be like freaking out over his own stuff.
yeah, this is a very reasonable, normal thing. Well,
Mhm.
you know. Shaun's just really good at hiding it now. After he was like, "Why did I just say it to Perspicuity?"
To be fair, Perspicuity is a lot more charismatic.
Yeah,
Uh,
Also an adult that hasn't spilled any secrets, and it's like, okay,
mhm.
maybe I can tell him.
Yeah. I think so. I think Roadkill's reaction is like, you definitely seem to care about them a lot for someone who was just thrown into this group at random.
Yeah, it's just the problem you sometimes have when you don't know a lot of people and you're not close with anyone, and it's like, oh, now you have a reason to know and care about these people, and it kind of just happens as a habit sort of thing. And it's like, oh, now I care about them because, oops, now I know too much about them. It's like now they're kind of sort of friends, and then it kind of just gets stuck.
You can roll insight on Roadkill if you want.
Yeah, totally. Let's see. What is my inside again? It's not the best, but
Nine.
our insight is nah.
He is resolutely looking at the wall and not looking at Shaun. He
Mm,
he he is he is not relating to this whatsoever. It's this wall is so interesting.
Well, it is a very interesting wall. There's probably an interesting moss pattern on it.
Possibly like several layers of various like posters and flyers that have been taped directly to the metal wall and have now
Yeah, events and
become
stuff
a
that might have
mess.
happened back then.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's not your problem to deal with, so, What about over here? Like, is there anything, like, because, I know you've got stuff to do over here, even though it's like, you just have to survive. That's still a full-time job. It's not nothing. If there's anything we should, think of or plan ahead for, since,
Yeah,
it might happen.
planning ahead over here kinda hard to do.
True.
So, yeah, I don't know what you want from me on that front.
That's fair. Since I definitely cannot take up fishing. Let's see.
Hmm. Maybe in the more traditional way with like a
A
fishing
fishing
rod
rod?
and hook and stuff.
Yeah, like normal fishing instead of actually effective fishing. Since Roadkill probably gets more done
Probably.
than someone just sitting there with a stick.
Hmm. But hey, if you get something, that's better than nothing.
It's true. Definitely not easy going. But is there any like weird like weather or anything that happens because of all the mutant stuff, or is it just kind of like anywhere else?
I mean, hmm. I think it's like cloudy more often on this side of the river, but I don't think that's a mutant thing. I think that's like a genre thing.
Mm, yeah, since it's the dark, forbidden area, so the sun is obliging by hiding behind clouds all the time.
He like rolls his eyes.
Gotta love genre conventions. Not. Especially when you have to live in the not so great ones.
Yeah. I guess it could be worse, though, if the weather was actually affected by mutants. Like, how would that even work? I don't want to think
Making it.
about it. I don't want. Ugh.
Yeah,
That's something we don't need to speak into existence.
yeah. Let's not. I'm just worried about the weird things Ill Will's trying to make. Like, Sentry was a fun dog thing, but it's like had a weird slime monster thing, which is uncomfortable just in general. But it's like, what else is he gonna try and do? It's like, ugh.
Who knows? Maybe he'll make some giant bugs.
Yeah, that'd be bad.
uh,
No one wants giant bugs since they're just so good at what they do.
uh, who knows? From the sound of it, that guy is crazy. So trying to figure out what he's planning is probably not going to work very well.
Yeah, it's more of a stay out of their way and hope they don't do anything. But
Yeah, which sounds like a pretty futile hope,
yeah,
but at least he seems more focused on messing with your side of the river than Ensville, so that's something.
yeah, that's something because you've got enough nonsense going on than to have this guy making it worse.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I assume you have a place where you like live and hang out and all that stuff. Is like, do you live close to other mutants for like safety, or is it kind of like everyone out for themselves?
Well, groups tend to stay pretty small, so the more people you have, the more attention you attract.
Or so smaller groups, like 2, 3 people, sort of groups, maybe 5. We could sneak without being too big.
As long as you have the, like, strength to back up your bigger numbers, I've seen people get away with, yeah, 5, 6 should be fine. You can roll insight if you want.
Hmm. Roadkill knows more. Always good to know about what Roadkill knows.
18. Yeah. Roadkill is very much dodging the question of like who he might live with or if he lives with anyone, and trying to speak more generally and redirect the conversation to like your group, other people he knows.
Hmm. Which fair. But it's like I know it's a bit nosy to be like, I don't know, what do you do? You don't have to talk about it if you don't want to. It's just because I don't know. I know you've been managing for quite a long time, which is kind of why I asked. But I get it if you're like, it's none of your business. So
I mean, it's not that simple, is it?
No.
Because between Nicola and Penumbra is mainly who I'm worried about. Anything I tell you
Hmm.
could get back to either of them without you even meaning it to. And,
Yeah, it's a whole mind reading thing. Totally get it.
mm-hmm.
So, thanks for telling me that much. That's good enough. General is good. But it's just because I'm wondering, like, that ill will guy, it's like, what if he made something that would, like, just make more mutants if it was around that mutant? Like, what would you have to do with that? Especially if it could think. Like, would you have to just move them here and hope they don't cause more mutants out of, like, stuff?
What, like a mutant that was, like, actively dripping with Catalyst V or something?
Yeah, like if it was somehow contagious or something. Catalyst V that just kind of just comes off it.
I mean, that doesn't sound super feasible. Catalyst
Mhm,
V is pretty reactive, so it tends
mhm.
to uh react with whatever it comes in contact with, and then, that's sort of it done more or less. So, like, coming in contact with something that could mutate and still remaining active, I don't know. I've never heard of anything like that.
Okay, so at least that's one thing we probably don't have to worry about him cooking up, I guess. Unless it,
Mm,
like, I don't know, if you attacked it and then it, like, leaked out, like, would that be a thing?
he's like thinking, I'm not really the expert in this kind of stuff, man. I don't want to get your hopes up that there's stuff Illwill can't make. He seems to have a better understanding of the catalyst than anyone
Any of
else,
us.
at least more than I do, anyway. So
Hmm.
maybe it's
So
not off the table.
we hope it is, but we don't have any proof it isn't.
Mm-hmm. Can I roll insight? Because
His oddly
Shaun's.
specific
Yeah,
question.
this oddly specific hypothetical situation.
Yeah.
Is there any reason behind that, maybe? 7. No, this is just, Shaun overthinking, I guess.
Shush. He does do a lot of thinking, and he probably overthinks a lot too.
Hmm. Yeah, so Roadkill will be like, it's probably not much point wondering about what kind of mutant there could or couldn't be until you actually encounter it. Because even
Yeah.
if you try to think of and plan for everything that could happen, there's still going to be something you didn't think of. It's Catalyst V. It does weird shit.
Hmm. Yeah, it's, planning for nothing because you don't know what's happening. And there's no way to know. So just the basics. Keep this place stocked up just in case. And if we have to find food over here, hopefully we get good at fishing. Mhm. Though probably can't do too much fishing because then you'd starve, so that's no good. So we'd have to find some other thing.
You would have
Or
to eat an insane amount of fish. It's a huge river, but
well, that's good.
there
At least
is,
it's well stocked.
hunting, foraging, growing your own stuff, whatever.
Hmm.
There's other ways to go about it.
I think Shaun would probably write down if he had a little notebook with him, but he's just gonna file away in his mind for now as important. But yeah, thanks, Roadkill. It's good to figure out some of this stuff and know a little bit more ahead of time.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad to hear at least one of you is thinking about it
Yeah.
and
I wish, they
asking.
wouldn't just, yeah. And I wish more of them would be a little more careful about coming over here without anyone else or letting someone know. But I'm not their mom. I can't make them do things. So,
Mhm. Well, maybe they have to learn the hard way.
not as long as the hard way isn't deadly, unfortunately, because that would be a problem. Wouldn't be good.
Yeah. Can't exactly learn anything if you're dead.
Exactly. But yeah, if there's anything you want me to like pass on to them about being annoying, you can just let me know. That way you don't have to get up all up in their face about it if you don't want to. As a fellow idiot, I can at least deal with that for you.
Mhm. I think he like gives a smirk at that and he's like, what gives you the impression I don't like yelling at them? It's not something I get to do that often. Like, what, am I gonna yell at Lena? No.
Yeah, it's true. But there's only so many times you want to yell about a certain thing before it gets boring. So if any of it becomes boring, let me know. And they're still not getting into their heads.
Hmm. I mean, if you can get them to shut up about the whole, uh, starting a garden over here thing, or at least, like, fucking try to figure out, like, at least ask about why that's not going to work and listen to the answers, uh, it'll probably save them a good bit of work. Otherwise, I guess, like, they can drag a bunch of shit over here and watch it get destroyed, but I don't know. Save us both the trouble if they would stop that.
I'll see if you know, a little bit of extra nagging helps. Maybe it won't, but you
They
could at least
seem,
yell you told them so.
yeah, they seem pretty dead set on that one specifically. Like,
They think they forget there's a whole bunch of mutants around here that are also hungry and looking for things and can rip it up. So
exactly. Like, ugh, the amount of work that goes into, I mean, growing stuff is easy enough. Keeping anything else from getting at it is the hard part, and that seems to be the part that they're glossing right over.
mhm. Since there's probably way more mutants here than any of us could possibly think of that we don't see. So
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, it's
Yeah.
good to know things to plan about. And maybe they'll listen, maybe they won't, but there's only so much you can do.
Mm-hmm. I know Tailwind was asking about wanting to meet other people that live on this side of the river.
Mhm.
But also, I feel like introducing Tailwind to anyone is potentially uh how do I put this lightly? An act of war against whoever has to be introduced to them.
Hmm.
So I'm not too keen on that. But you seem like, hmm, probably the closest to respectful out of this whole mess of people.
It would be good to know some other mutants, but I totally get that. It's people have their own lives, and it's like we're weird. We kind of get the advantages of the powers and like not the downside. So yeah, it's kind of like, oh yeah, meet this person who doesn't have the advantages you have. So I can see why introductions would be real awkward.
Mm, see, this is why I think if anyone should be introduced around, it's you. You uh seem to have the best handle on uh you know why it might not be a good idea, which means that you're most likely to make it go well.
And maybe can eventually make them understand that sort of thing, since it's you probably it's like one thing you don't really think about, and I get it. We're all just dumb kids. We're thinking about a lot of stuff, but they just think, oh yeah, we have powers, but it's like, yeah, that's not how it works for everyone else though, which is why it's kind of awkward.
Mhm.
Yeah, it might be a good thing to know some of the others eventually when it's better for them.
Mhm. I'll ask around, but I am way more inclined to introduce you around and maybe Lena, not Tailwind.
Yeah, not for a bit. Tailwind's a little too curious about some stuff,
Mhm.
which I get it. They're like one of those inventors, smart people. They want to know everything, and it's like, yeah, maybe they don't want to tell you everything. So,
Yeah. I get the feeling it's like an academic interest for them
mm,
and not meeting people.
fair. Which is the last thing we need is fights or, you know, making life difficult.
Mhm.
Because you
And
guys got enough.
yeah, the last thing anyone over here needs is 10 billion questions about their situation and how they got into it. So,
Hmm. Exactly, especially since, maybe you don't even really remember what happened. Just that it was weird.
roll insight.
Nope, out of two.
Oh man, dirty 20. Yeah. So, like, as you bring up, maybe you don't even remember, uh, the vibe you get from Roadkill is like simultaneously, oof, yeah, he remembers, and that's not happy memories. And also, he is thinking he knows at least one person that doesn't remember, and uh, maybe that's for the better. Or maybe that's for the worst because they don't know that things could be better than this.
It's like kind of yeah, maybe it's good because they don't know any better than this, but also they deserve better than this. That sucks, sort of thoughts.
Exactly. Spot on.
It's like, yeah, Shaun probably just kind of nod a little bit because, he's not gonna press because, you know, he's already mentioned that the psychics are a problem and they could just pull that information out of brains, so he's not gonna poke too much about that. But,
Mm.
you know, just sort of thank Roadkill for the help here since he needs to get this place a little more cleaned up just in case. It's like, probably should head back before it gets too dark since no one needs some idiots over here after dark when more mutants are moving around.
Yeah, that's probably for the best.
And just
Do
kind of
you want.
be real careful around the glass when heading back out. They'll kind
Yeah.
of look at it for a while because, thinking about it.
Can he roll insight on that?
Yeah, totally. Come on, Roadkill, you can do it.
He
No, he can't.
cannot! He just keeps rolling like sixes on every insight.
He's just like, yeah, you know what? I like this guy. I'm not gonna think too much about his motivations.
Hmm. Yeah, like Shaun's busy looking at the glass. Roadkill just climbs back out of the window, brushes himself off, and is like, uh, do you want company walking back to the bridge, or you fine on your own?
I think I'd take the company just to be safe. Unless it's too far out of your way. Like, I don't think you'd be offering if it was too far out of your way, but
No, I got a little bit of time.
great.
Uh,
Thanks.
yeah.
I would not mind the escort back to the way,
Hmm. So Roadkill will walk with Shaun back to the bridge.
which is good. Where they split up, since, he's not gonna cross that bridge.
Yeah, no. And he's just like, uh, have a good one or whatever.
Yeah,
Before heading back into Ensville.
yeah, definitely gets a wave and, another thanks. Thanks
Hmm.
again for all that, and Sean will head back to his place and kind of be like, thinking, because it's like, really can't test this sort of thing. Kind of want to because I want to know about it, but also really don't want to know about it. So it's just gonna be like making sure nothing is too close. And, just watch himself around knives and pointy objects. Be like
Hmm.
uncomfortable, but, at least he knows more now.
Yeah, he learned some stuff.
He learned some stuff. He knows some more about possibly living over there. And hey, maybe it's nothing. Maybe you don't have to worry about it. It's like,
Hmm. Didn't even erase Roadkill's suspicions. Perspicuity knows now, but he said he won't tell anyone.
yeah, he's good. He said he's good about it, and
Hmm.
hopefully he won't. Because you know what? Maybe you're wrong. Maybe it's fine.
Yeah. Anything else as part of the FPS, do you think?
They've think we've pretty much got it done. He's had a nice bonding time with Roadkill. Absolutely didn't have any weird, uncomfortable, traumatic moments for anyone. We absolutely didn't have problems raised and then quietly ignored. Everything was great.
Hmm.
And some stuff got stored over there, which is fantastic. But yeah, Sean definitely did think about it. It was like, should test it, and then didn't. So, so that'll just have to be a problem he keeps thinking about for a little while.
Yeah. It's a surprise problem that will hurt us later.
Exactly, yay!
But yeah, if that's the case, I think I'm gonna stop the recording. Thanks for playing. That was fun.
Yeah, I had a great time. Thank you for playing and helping arrange it.
Yee! And thanks to anyone listening.
Yes, indeed. Goodbye.
Bye.